All right, everybody, this is going to be a quick and pretty simple tutorial on deer hair heads, stacking, forming buford heads, or even compressing them to form more of a wedge. So typically when I am tying any buford style fly or anything I'm going to create a wedge with, I am just using the front of the bucktail right here. So basically all the fibers that you can spin, yeah, it's going to have a lot of under hair in it, but we'll take care of that with a brush. We'll go through step by step and what I usually do to create a very water dispersing head. So as you can already tell, I have my portion of my fly tied here, and what I typically like to do when I am tying these flies is I'll leave a portion of the shank bare. So that kind of gives me a rough starting point of when I'm going to form this head. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a clump of deer hair here. And that might look like a lot of deer hair, but once we get rid of the underfur and everything, we should have close to the correct amount that we'll need. So there it is. Coming in with a brush, trying to get out most of the underfur and those fibers that will cause it to cut your line or thread. Just going through and combing it out. It'll eventually get easier. You'll see some of that longer fibers being pulled out, which is okay. Typically it is underfur, which have a triangular shape. Very meticulous, but the end product is always worth it. So I'll come in with my fingers, pick out some of these fibers. There is going to be some underfur left, but nothing that we can't work around. All right, so with the first step of making my head is I'm always going to tie in the longer portions first. So I'll measure it out, kind of cut the hair where I need it to be. So this is just creating a collar. Gonna spin my thread, gain some extra strength from it. Now I'm gonna go over once, twice, and then secure it. So this should bring it around the full shank. You can also work it yourself to create that collar. And there you go, there's your collar of the fly. This is just gonna help flare and disperse water. Trim off this front part here. Clean this up. All right, now comes when we're actually going to get into packing the material. So I'm going to do the same step, grab a healthy amount of deer hair again. It'll be roughly the shape of a big permanent marker, those big fat ones about like that. So that's what you're looking to grab. Come in, trim that out. Just repeating the same step as we did last time, coming in with our brush and removing all that underfur. except for this time, I'm gonna go ahead and flip that over, and I'm cutting off these long portions, kind of creating a even flat edge. That'll just help with the cutting process later. Once again, spin our thread. We're gonna try to put it right in the middle, so divide it in the middle. One, 2, and then we're going to secure it, and that's going to cause that to wrap around the shank. Once again, just combing through, securing those fibers. And once I have that locked in, all I'm going to do is wrap in front. I'm going to compress that head. Once I have that slightly compressed, I'm going to get up close to those fibers. This is creating a dam, which will cause fibers to flare out, as you can see. Makes it nice and flat. And this gives us enough room to add one more stack to that head. So this time I'm going to come in with a little less because I don't have much room here, and I want to leave at least a small portion to be able to tie off on the behind the eye of the hook. Just repeating the same processes. Cut you out a clump. Take your brush, work out those under fibers. Trying to prevent any type of damage to our thread while we're tying. Again, coming in, cleaning up fibers. Again, this is just a personal preference that I like to do. Saves a little time and headache. Spin our thread, come in. 1, 2, and flare out the head. Pull back the fibers, and once again create that little dam that will flare out our fibers. And give us a nice little spot to tie off on. Catch a couple fibers there, that's fine. We'll just pull them out. I'm going to pick them out with the head of my whip finish tool here. Go in one more time. Now we're just going to pretty much clean up any of those trap fibers that caught in the front. Take a little super glue, Zap-A-Gap, whatever you got for type of applicant. Put that on those thread wraps, protect them from the teeth. That's if you're tying for muskie. This works for any type of heads that you kind of want to form for any type of fish that you're going for. And then we'll just trim it out. What I kind of like to start doing is just kind of making a square on the head, which will give me kind of an estimate where I want to cut the fibers. Then I'll just kind of clean up behind it. Again, this is going to take some practice, but once you get it down, it's like baby steps. So once you get it down, you'll be able to learn it. It's like riding a bike, never forget it. And that's pretty much a Buford or stacking deer hair, so you can create a nice fly that disperses some water and give it some nice side-to-side action. Again, if you need any help, just go in the comments section. I'll do my best. But that is a deer hair head.